It's not going to be because your final's already prepared.
Hopefully you'll find something interesting. So I want to say I'm really excited to be here. When Maria asked me to come, I was very excited to come back to college. I haven't been in college for like 10 years or so it's very exciting. And I'm just really curious, is everybody here looking to be in the medical profession? Or you are? So everybody here has different majors still? Okay, and can I just ask random, does anybody want to share? I just was curious about you guys. Like, what majors do you have?
I'm a psych major.
Oh, sweet. Okay, anybody else?
Healthcare administration.
Health administration. Do you want to tell me?
Philosophy.
Philosophy? Okay, wonderful. So I just wanted to get like an idea of what everybody is about. So, like Maria said, my name is Marcia Lopez. I am a Mayan abdominal massage practitioner. And have any of you heard of Mayan abdominal massage? No? Okay. Have any of you heard of the Maya? Yeah? Okay. So, and what have you guys heard about the Maya? Anything? Anything in particular? Is there anything about Maya and stuff? To sacrifice people? Yes, thanks. I'll have to look into that. But I think it was, I swear it was the Aztecs. Okay, so I came across Mayan abdominal massage maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I came across it from this book. It's called Sestun. And this book tells the story of Rosita Vigo. She's a doctor of naturopathy from Chicago, and it talks about her story meeting Don Eligio Panti. And Don Eligio Panti was the last Mayan Q-men, H''MEN, of Belize. And it was I believe, the northern part of Belize region, and he was from the Quechua Mayan lineage. And Don Eligio Panti taught Rosita Vigo a very beautiful Mayan healing technique that's centered around abdominal massage. And it was a massage that was also designed for women and for their uterine health. And the Maya believe that the center of the woman's health is her uterus, and that the center of the tribe's health is the woman's uterus, because we all come from the womb. So if the womb is healthy, the tribe will be healthy. And if the womb is not healthy, then it will affect the tribe in some way or another. And he was an excellent midwife. He delivered many, many babies. He was an excellent herbalist. He gathered herbs from the Belizean rainforest, and he taught Rosita the herbs and how to use the herbs to heal many, many ailments, especially that had to deal with women, fibroids, polyps, uterine prolapse, childbirth, traumatic childbirth, hemorrhaging, just an extensive array, as well as snake bites, as well as having a cold or things of that nature. So when I read this book, I was blown away. I was like, I want to learn how to do this. I was already a massage therapist for maybe 3 or 4 years. And I found this book, and I'm like, I want to know how to do this. This is really cool. When I went to college, I studied philosophy. That was my major. I studied philosophy and I studied dance. So my big thing was always learning about different types of thoughts, different types of healing processes, just so I wanted to know more. You know, it's just the thing with philosophy. It's like why, how, and all of these things. And so I began to study, and I went to the self-care, and I finished off with Mayan abdominal practitioner, so now I'm able to perform the massage on women. And the work is very profound, you know, because you start to address these issues that concern women, and it also centers around men as well, because it deals with the abdominal area, so it deals with digestive health, and it also deals with male problems of prostate health, infertility, premature ejaculation, impotence, things of that nature. And it also can help deal with STDs that affect both men and women. So the work just really blew me away. It was very, very profound, and it was very spiritually impactful as well, because there was just this source of energy that I was able to access all of a sudden that I was just completely unaware of before. And that source of energy is the energy in our abdomen and the energy of our reproductive health, and just how impactful it is to the rest of our health. And so I began to look at all the other things that surround it. The Maya method of healing talks about Chulel. So Chulel is the life force that permeates all living things, okay? And Chulel is very similar to prana, to chi. You guys all heard of these things, chi, prana. Okay, so chi is more of a Chinese, Asian concept, and chi is basically the life force that animates you. Prana is more of a yogic, yoga, India, the continent, their ideas of what animates you, what your life force is, they call it prana. So the Maya also had the same thing, and they called it Chulel. And so Chulel permeates all things. It permeates the table, it permeates me, it permeates you, it permeates the cosmos, it permeates the plants. So it was understanding that. It's having that understanding that supports the healing process, is how we're going to do this healing with another person, how we're going to live our life, and how we're going to be in harmony with people, is because we have this understanding that there is this life force that emanates all things, so we are in relationship with all these things. And how are we in relationship with these things that bring about balance and harmony and bring about an equilibrium in our health, okay? Because when you are not healthy, you're basically out of balance, right? There's something's off, something's a little bit off with the body, so you have to do something to bring it back into balance. So that's the foundation of the healing with the Maya work, is that there's this chula, okay? So the work was just immensely profound. You know, you tap in, you're looking at the abdomen, you're looking at the reproductive organs, and here you are, like just, this is where our source of energy is. This is where our source of power comes from. I'm going to tie in a little bit of yogic philosophy as well, that the lower reproductive area and the lower limbs deal with grounding and deal with creation. So if this area is healthy, it really represents how physically strong we're going to be and how capable and able we are going to be in creating the life that we want. Okay, meaning creating the kind of education you want, creating the kind of grades you're going to get, creating the kind of profession you're going to have. It's very dependent on the health of your abdominal area. Chi, Chulel, Prana, it's all centered here. Okay, and in any culture, cross-culturally, you're going to find that it all centers around here. Okay, so my question right now is just to ask you, what would you think, what things would affect this area? What kind of factors would affect the abdominal area and the reproductive area? And I just shout out maybe like one or two things.
Alcohol?
Alcohol? Yes. Alcohol is one. Birth control? Yeah.
Diet.
Yep. Diet.
Stress.
Yes. Stress. Anybody else? Those are three good ones. It's birth control, we have diet, we have stress, and we have alcohol. Those are very, very important factors to look at, especially in relation to health. Do you guys know that stress is the #1 leading cause of all illnesses? Have you guys ever heard that? That some of you have, so you're familiar with that? Stress causes heart disease. Stress is the leading cause of is the underlying cause of most cancers. It causes digestive disorders of that nature. So these are the things that we put into our body. We put hormonal birth control, we put in alcohol, we put in diet, with the food we eat, maybe water. Would water affect the purity of our water, the purity of our water supply? Another thing that also affects this area too is how we use our sexuality. That's just one thing that I want you guys to kind of think about, is how we use our sexuality, how well we take care of it, and how healthy we are in the way in how we use our sexuality, basically. So that was even more fascinating, and when we talk about diet, that was very, very interesting, because when we think of indigenous folk medicine, there's a foundation that this folk medicine has that needs to be looked at, and that's the diet. Central, South American, Mexico, they base their food, their subsistence on the sacred triad. Has anybody heard of the sacred triad before? So the sacred triad was beans, corn, and squash. And And back in those days, beans, corn, and squash weren't genetically modified. Beans, corn, and squash were grown together because they were interdependent on each other. The corn was grown, the stalks, you guys have all seen corn stalks, they're all really long and beautiful, and so the beans were able to grow. Has anybody ever seen a bean plant? No? Some of you have. So bean plants are pretty cool. They grow long, they grow up, like on a trellis. And so the bean plants grow up on the corn stalks, and then the squash plants grow in between the beans and the corn, and they help control weeds. And then the beans give off nitrogen to help the corn grow, so it grows taller. So it's this whole interdependent circle that they have, and that created the substances for the people. And so when people were ill and you gave them herbal remedies or you performed manipulations to their body, the body was already receptive to receive these healings because people were living in harmony. They were understanding of true well, they were understanding the chi of prana, of the life force that was permeating all their environment, all their existence themselves, and plus they were eating a diet that was healthy and that was in harmony with the planet, with their environment, okay? So it was easier to treat. In a sense, it was like the herbs were receptive. Nowadays, herbs, I feel, are being treated kind of like prescription medication. A lot of times people just want to take a pill. And now people are trying to become more holistically, like I'm all natural, but here they go and they just take an herbal remedy. But what I find a lot in my practice, I hold off on giving herbal supplements to people because they don't modify their diet. So I have people that, I have IBS, or I have chronic constipation, or I have diarrhea, or I have this, or I have stress. And I say, okay, well, in the beginning, before I changed my mind about it all, I'll say, okay, well, I have these herbal remedies that are part of the Maya work that Dr. Rosita Vigo helped preserve. She preserved a rainforest in Belize, and so there's these rainforest remedies that we use. And I would give them the rainforest remedies. And then they come back and they'd be seeing me for like 2 months. Okay, well, how are you feeling? How are things getting better? No, things are not getting better. Well, you know, I had pizza the other day, and I had fried chicken the other day, and, you know, I had half a bottle of wine last night, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, what is this little bottle of tincture of herbal medicine up against? You know, it's up against, like, pizza, fried chicken, and, you know, some Chardonnay. So it's like, it has a lot that it has to go against. So the foundation of health isn't really what we have going on here. You know, the diet that most of us are eating here is processed, it's highly refined,